Coach, obviously another frustrating loss, but how frustrating is it when it's one of your leaders? And I know there were different parts of the game that contributed to it, but to see Sean have two critical turnovers in the closing minutes, just your thoughts on those.
Basketball is a funny sport. That ball takes mysterious bounces sometimes, and one guy's zigging and one guy's zagging, and I actually watched that final inbounds play because I couldn't really see what exactly happened, and I wish I had a better explanation, but Jaden was open, and that's who we were trying to throw the ball to, and he had a little bit of pressure and was trying to get open, and Sean read it a little bit differently than Jaden read it in terms of where he was going to catch the ball, and it just obviously was an unfortunate play for us at that critical time in the game.
We'll go to Jacob, second row middle.
Coach, can you give us any update on Josh and how he's doing?
I wish I could. I just, all I got was a few minutes after he went out from our bench that he was out for today's game. So that took a few seconds to process, but I have not talked to the trainer nor Josh since the game.
We'll go ahead. Colin, go ahead.
Coach, kind of saw it in the game today where you have these moments where you tie the game or you get back into it and then the other team goes down and gets a bucket. And the last couple of games as well, you've had to manage, an encouraging win versus a loss, a downer after defeat. How have you approached trying to manage that and trying to manage the temperament of the locker room and keeping everyone kind of focused on going ahead?
That's a really good question, and I think about it a lot, unfortunately, and about what to say and how to say it, and obviously what I can do. How can I help them more? And in the end, it's my responsibility. And I didn't say much to them after this game. They were hurting. It was somber. It was tough. It was very quiet, and rightfully so. And they've all played basketball long enough now. I've coached the game long enough now. Is what you learn is you win and lose in a variety of ways. You just never know how the game's going to unfold. And this afternoon is one where we got off to a poor start. Josh goes down, takes some air out of the room, out of the building, out of some of our team. I don't know. And we just fought uphill all night long. I mean, at one point I didn't know if we were going to get, back into striking distance the way the game was unfolding. And unfortunately, we did. And we led for a grand total of 17 seconds, at least what the box score says. Had a couple ties, a couple lead changes, but it wasn't like one of those type of games. They were in complete control until winning time, until when it was most important to be in control, which is, when the buzzer goes off, and we had a chance to basically steal one, if I'm being honest. It would have been a heck of a win for us, considering the circumstances and how the game played out, and with Josh going down. But unfortunately, we didn't execute down the stretch. We just didn't. And there are more things than you guys would even know, to be honest with you, about some lack of execution, if I'm being honest with myself and our team, in which we always are. And we had a couple fouls to give on the last possession when there was 25 seconds left coming out of the timeout, and so we were trying to push up on them and take some time off the clock and foul them once they got into the scoring area, and we had two guys that had a chance to do that, and unfortunately that we didn't. And so we fouled them. We got to the rim and fouled them, and I think he made free throws, if I'm not mistaken, and that was before the last play of the game. So our staff, myself, has got to do more. We're going to hopefully have a lot of close games. We have already, and I think we're probably going to have a lot more. And we've got to figure out a way to put them in better positions, and then the guys on the court in those critical moments have to execute better.
We'll stay second row left.
When Jaden was up here, he talked about how you guys need to get back to playing Mississippi State basketball. Just in your words, what is that, and what's it going to take to be able to get back to that?
Yeah, I mean, since we've arrived, we've talked about defense, toughness, rebounding, playing together, sharing the ball. And it's still the same things that we preach on a daily basis in terms of our staples. I thought we rebounded the ball much better in the first half. I thought, even though the score wasn't in our favor, I told one of the coaches walking off the court, I go, we're only down 8. I feel like we should be down 20 the way the game had unfolded. That's just how I felt inside about our quality play. And offensive rebounding had something to do with that. And then in the second half, on both ends, we didn't rebound the offensive end as well, and we definitely didn't rebound the defensive end. I thought that was a big part of the game, is we started mixing up our defenses down the stretch, and it was giving them some problems. And we were going back and forth between man and zone, and even in some in the same possession. But we couldn't get the rebound. You know, we couldn't finish it. We talked a lot this week about finishing defensive possessions with physical checks and 5 guys having a mindset of, I'm going to get the rebound. I'm going to go get it with 2 hands. I'm going to be that guy. And we just didn't. And certainly there's a lot of things to talk about, and we talked about plenty already, but I thought that was some critical mistakes that we made down the stretch.
Got time for a few more. We'll go to Danny P here in the front.
And Coach, you know, Josh goes down, and you do lose the game, but you got 13 off the bench from Jabari, and I think 29 off the bench in total. Is that something you can build off of moving forward, perhaps? Getting that kind of production?
Yeah, I hope so. We need all hands on deck. And at this point, we're 9 games in, and I have a little frustration, or I don't know what the correct word is I still have guys that I'm not sure who I should put in the game. And I hate that. I hate that I feel that way, and I hate that it hasn't had as much separation as we need to. And so our rotation isn't as solid as maybe we'd like it to be, you know, right now. We've had years where we've started different people, but you know, we knew who was going to play and kind of how many minutes they were going to play. And 9 games in, we're still having some inconsistencies with our productivity, which again, they're not robots. It's not like they're going to, you know, play a certain way every single time. But I've got to figure it out, and they've got to figure it out individually. For some of those guys are saying, "No, I'm the guy. I'm going to show you that I'm that guy, and I can help more and produce more and be more consistent more." And we've got to get a couple guys to do that going forward.
Jacob, second row middle, wrap us up.
Josh is obviously a big leader on this team. You kind of already touched on it, but how do you feel like the guys responded tonight whenever he went down in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear anything or see anything that made me nervous about it. You know, it was, hey, it is what it is. And it's got to be about our culture and about our team and about our program. And Josh is out, and I shared it with him in the next timeout that I had after I heard the news from one of the other coaches on the bench. And, you know, it was business as usual from there on out.